Hey everybody, I'm Angela. I've been doing my practicum at the Poverello Center. I'm gonna quickly preface this presentation by telling you I've been having a lot of technical difficulties with my Apple products, and I think it's having to do with the video being so long, so I'm gonna record it in two shorter segments, and I'll give you guys both the links, and hopefully I will get this uploaded to you guys finally. Um, I had the privilege of getting the opportunity to work one-on-one with a client, doing some weekly case management with her, so that lent itself really well to this assignment. Um, in my written presentation, I did refer to her using initials. For speaking simplicity, I'm going to refer to her as Terry. In this video presentation, I have changed all identifying information to protect her confidentiality. So Terry's a 67-year-old woman. She's been experiencing homelessness since September of 2015 due to an eviction. She couch surfed for about 4 months, then came to the POV in early January from the Seeley Lake area where she resided for just over 30 years. She's on a small fixed income. She's, doesn't have much in the way of immediate family. This issue of homelessness has been pretty overwhelming for her, and she has felt quite, lonely in this process. So anyways, getting to phase one of the plan change process, engagement, the perspectives I used, I really used the diversity perspective, acknowledging the different diverse groups she's belongs to, including her age group, her gender group, being a person with a disability, and how those things factor into her situation. I also definitely utilized the strengths perspective. It was important to, acknowledge and take stock in what she does bring to the table and to help her recognize those things. And then the person in environment model or perspective, recognizing that being in the shelter now, and she's been in for about 4 months, does add its own layer of complexity to her situation. Living in a shelter is not easy, and it kind of adds a layer to the issue of homelessness. So the following skills I used, before I actually ever sat down with her on for a one-on-one meeting, I reviewed all her case notes that she had thus far. Luckily I had some, informal interactions with her, so she wasn't completely unfamiliar with me, which was nice. And then when we did sit down for a one-on-one meeting, really imploring good active listening skills to convey, genuineness, empathy, and summarizing to make sure that I really was getting the details of her situation accurately. And then I found matching language to be really helpful with her. She is a little bit older than I am, and I feel like a lot of the communication that goes on at the front desk at the POV is pretty informal and casual. And it was important to kind of offer her a little bit more formality, a little bit of, the respect for your elders kind of thing went a long way with her. So looking at phase 2 of the plan change process, assessment, the orienting and explaining theories I utilized, definitely a biopsychosocial, looking at the way her disability and her chronic illnesses kind of influence her mental health and her, emotional well-being, and how that factors into her ability to work towards permanent housing goals. And then looking at the cycle of change theory, that seeing that there are a lot of periods of good momentum, and then intermittent periods of kind of stagnation, and being able to see how that fits into everything. And then I did include the group dynamics and role theory. This is really going back to the fact that being in this shelter does create this extra layer of dynamics that she didn't have before she came into the shelter. That's really important to recognize. When you're staying more than just a couple days and you're kind of living in the dorms, there is a lot of group dynamics that surface, and people take on certain roles. Terry has definitely taken on kind of the role of the dorm grandma, which in ways serves her as a good coping technique, and then also, sometimes is a distraction. So I see him about 5 minutes. I'm gonna pause here and then I'll pick up with the data collection of phase 2. Thanks, you guys.